Hi, this is Remembering the Past, the show where we talk about people who died recently who've had a profound effect on our history, our society, or our culture. And in our ongoing series on Medal of Honor winners, tonight we're going to present a very special Medal of Honor winner, Corporal Tibor Rubin, who died recently at the age of 86. Like Private George Staccato, whose podcast we just did, Corporal Rubin was a delayed Medal of Honor winner. Corporal Rubin won his Medal of Honor for his heroism during the Korean War and the First Chinese Offensive in October of 1950, but he was not presented with his Medal of Honor until September 23, 2005 by President George Bush because of anti-Semitism that delayed his recommendation. Corporal Rubin also has the special distinction of being the only Holocaust survivor to win a Medal of Honor. Corporal Rubin was Jewish and he was born in Hungary. And when he was a teenager, he was put in Mauthausen concentration camp by the Nazis. He was rescued at the end of the war by the Americans. Several years later, he came to the United States, and to show his gratitude, he signed up for the military to become a GI Joe. He had to deal with an anti-Semitic sergeant, but nevertheless, he showed extreme bravery in Korea, not only in the battlefield, but when he was a prisoner of war captured by the Chinese communists. His recognition for the Medal of Honor didn't come until 50 years later. I might also add that in addition to his Medal of Honor, he won 2 Purple Hearts. From the Medal of Honor website, Corporal Rubin's citation reads as follows. Corporal Tibor Rubin distinguished himself by extraordinary heroism during the period from July 23, 1950 to April 20, 1953, while serving as a rifleman with Company I, 8th Cavalry Regiment, 1st Cavalry Division in the Republic of Korea. While his unit was retreating to the Pusan perimeter, Corporal Rubin was assigned to stay behind to keep open the vital Taegu-Pusan Road link used by his withdrawing unit. During the ensuing battle, overwhelming numbers of North Korean troops assaulted a hill defended solely by Corporal Rubin. He inflicted a staggering number of casualties on the attacking force during his personal 24-hour battle, single-handedly slowing the enemy advance and allowing the 8th Cavalry Regiment to complete its withdrawal successfully. Following the breakout from the Pusan perimeter, the 8th Cavalry Regiment proceeded northward and advanced into North Korea. During the advance, he helped capture several hundred North Korean soldiers. On October 30, 1950, Chinese forces attacked his unit at Ulsan, North Korea, during a massive nighttime assault. That night and throughout the next day, he manned a .30 caliber machine gun at the south end of the unit's line after 3 previous gunners became casualties. He continued to man his machine gun until his ammunition was exhausted. His determined stand slowed the pace of the enemy advance in his sector, permitting the remnants of his unit to retreat southward. As the battle raged, Corporal Rubin was severely wounded and captured by the Chinese. Choosing to remain in the prison camp despite offers from the Chinese to return him to his native Hungary, Corporal Rubin disregarded his own personal safety and immediately began sneaking out of the camp at night in search of food for his comrades. Breaking into enemy food storehouses and gardens, he risked certain torture or death if caught. Corporal Rubin provided not only food to the starving soldiers, but also desperately needed medical care and moral support for the sick and wounded of the POW camp. His brave, selfless efforts were directly attributed to saving the lives of as many as 40 of his fellow prisoners. Corporal Rubin's gallant actions in close contact with the enemy and unyielding courage and bravery while a prisoner of war are in the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Army. Here from the Medal of Honor Oral Histories is Corporal Rubin's story in his own words. He gives his perspective on his liberation from Mauthausen, his anti-Semitic sergeant, and some unique therapy he offered one of his fellow POWs in North Korea.
I was born in Hungary. They call a little town Pasto. I had a beautiful family. We live peacefully. We have a beautiful life there. We don't bother nobody. Nobody bothered us really. But the anti-Semitism was drum up. I was only a little over 13 years old. We get in a camp. The German commandant say right away, you F Jews, none of you gonna get out alive. It was a terrible life. Their aim was to kill you. Nothing to look forward, just when I gonna be next. I was liberated by the 11th Armored Division. They break down the gate, and there we was. This was something you never thought. I have a debt to pay. So made a promise. If Lord help me, if I ever go to America, I'm gonna become a G.I. Joe.
Tibor Rubin did make it to America, and in 1950, despite a significant language barrier, he made good on his promise to become an American soldier. By the summer of that year, Rubin was on active duty near South Korea's Pusan perimeter. There, Rubin made the harsh discovery that even the army that had liberated him from the Nazis was not free from prejudice.
The first sergeant, when he found out I was Jewish, he said that I cannot believe it. He said every time he needed a volunteer, so-called volunteer, he always called for me. He said, "Get me that son of a bitch Hungarian Jew." That was me. One day he sent me up in a hill. There was all the foxhole all around. And he told me that company and a third battalion gonna move back for a better place to defend ourselves. And he said that you're gonna be a guard. And he said, we're gonna come back and pick it up. I figured they're gonna come tomorrow. So I went every foxhole, I put a bunch of hand grenades. Then I have my M1 rifle. I load them down, a few of them, and put some ammunition and a bunch of carbine, the clips, put them there. Because I have to trick them, then more than one man guarding. So what happened next day? There they come. Banza. Hell break loose. I was so scared, I went bananas. I was screaming, and I threw hand grenade, pulled the pen and boom, pulled the pen, boom. Then I shoot with my rifle, the M1. Then I shoot my carbine. Then I throw it all over. You become hysterical. 24 hours I was on over there. I prayed to Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, Buddha. I said, somebody get my ass out of here. This place is too tough, too rough. You know what I mean? And somebody did it.
Rubin single-handedly defended the hill for over 24 hours. He incapacitated or killed a staggering number of Korean troops and slowed the remaining force to a standstill. His regiment made a successful retreat, but his sergeant never returned to relieve him.
Only, after a few days, I realized that, nobody come or nothing. So I just walked down from the mountain, and there was loaded with dead and screaming North Koreans and everything. And, then I had the guilt feeling, what the hell I did here? I killed even the enemy, but I killed somebody's father, brother, and all that, Thou shalt not kill. But then again, the truth is that if I don't kill him, he kill me, and vice versa, It's war. War is hell. So I went back. The sergeant see me all sweat. Hey, he said, look at that Jew here. Look at him. He looked like just took a Turkish bath. I said, well, I did more than that. I didn't want to become a hero, because to become a hero is not an easy thing. That was a surge. If he don't send me harm's way, I wouldn't be a hero. I want to show him we can fight and we bleed like anybody else and we die like anybody else. He actually made a hero out of me.
For months after his return, the sergeant continued to send Rubin on impossible missions. Each time, he not only survived, but fought brilliantly, and each time the sergeant deliberately withheld his commendation. In the fall of 1950, Corporal Rubin was severely wounded and was captured by enemy troops. He chose to remain in a POW camp with his American comrades, despite Chinese offers to return him to his native Hungary.
In the front line, even it is tough, but you are still a free man. When you become captured, you become a nothing. You don't have absolutely no rights, no more a human being. I already had that experience in a German camp, so I look at life different than a person who born here. You know what you're gonna go through, just you don't know how long it's gonna be.
Recognizing that starvation was an imminent threat, Rubin repeatedly risked his life to steal food from enemy storehouses and gardens. He provided much-needed moral support to frightened and sick soldiers and improvised medical techniques when no conventional supplies were available.
One of the guys, Johnny Medici, was very sick. So they come to me and say, Rubin, you have to help. I say, who I need to help? Johnny is dying. You know, he was already half a day dead. He don't want to eat. He was just giving up. So what I can do? No medicine. So you know what I did? This is mind over body. I went and steal goat shit and lamb shit. It looked like little M&M. So I went to Johnny Medici. I said, Johnny, Red Cross was just there. He bring us new medication. I will give you some of them, but only one thing I ask you, and that's all. You have to help yourself. Because your parents waiting for you, your brother and sister waiting for you. What's gonna be, Johnny? You want to die or you want to help yourself? So every day, 3 times I gave him 3 goat shit over a week. And he start coming around. So the big doctor, Dr. Rubinstein, feeding that patient with goat shit. He come out of it. I was not just a soldier, not just a funny-talking Jew. I was there when they need me. I feed them. Handyman, doctor, nurse, friend. They always say when you save a life, you save maybe a nation. Who knows who you become? For your guy's life, I say. I proved myself. They realize that, Tibor Rubin is a man, a brother.
Corporal Tibor Rubin was recommended for the Medal of Honor not once, but 4 times by his grateful comrades. On September 23, 2005, President George W. Bush finally presented the medal to Rubin in a long-awaited ceremony at the White House.
I waited 55 years. I said, listen, yesterday I was just a schmuck. Today they call me sir. As I tell you, I wasn't born here. I wasn't a citizen. I just was a little Jew coming back from the most terrible place, and to get a Medal of Honor, that's a big deal. I never know that I'm gonna be a super Jew. That's I'm joking. I throw a name for you for nothing. No, I'm not super. I'm just a regular guy. I made it. How I made it, the Lord only doesn't know. I don't even know. Because I was so many times supposed to be die over there, and I'm still here. It's a miracle. It is a God. It is the best country in the world, and I'm part of it now. I don't have to worry about the Gestapo or SS gonna knock on my door tonight. You understand what this means? I have shalom, peace. People die for it.
Well, I'm going to close on that note. I want to thank my producer and IT genius, Sid Tepps. Corporal Rubin, we thank you for your service and your sacrifice. You have our undying gratitude. We cannot begin to repay what we owe you.
They liberated me from the camp. Naturally, I owe them something, and I'm very proud because, as I told you, that's the greatest and the best country in the whole world.